Let's talk about what's currently happening in the tourism industry in the United States. So, U.S. immigration authorities are detaining European tourists at the border right now. There are a bunch of articles coming out about this recently. There are people in Europe even talking about it on TikTok, on YouTube, making videos about it, saying, you know, I do really not want to go to the United States right now. I don't want to tour there. I don't want to be associated with it. And it's like, I wonder why. Did something change in the past couple months with our immigration policy, with the person who's steering the ship on our immigration policy? The U.S. government better be careful they don't shoot themselves in the foot, because tourism is an important part of the economy. Obviously, it's not the only part of the economy, but if they don't play their cards right, they could seriously harm themselves. Obviously, there are problems with going too far in the open borders direction, being too lax on that, but we never even had open borders to begin with. That's just far-right misinformation that's been spouted by the likes of Fox News and people like Tulsi Gabbard, who used to be Democrats. But we don't want to go in this direction of, oh yeah, we're going to detain you at the border willy-nilly. And that seems to be what's going on. That seems to be what's weighing on tourism. Was this happening months ago? No, we didn't hear about that. We didn't hear about this really happening in Trump's first term, if I remember correctly. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments about that, if you have articles or something, but I do not remember that. And also, let's face it, Trump hurts the appearance of the United States worldwide. He just does. You can cherry pick photos of him shaking hands with world leaders where it looks like, oh, they really look up to him and respect him. He's an alpha male. But no, he harms the view of the U.S. across the world. Biden improved the view of the U.S. across the world. This was something that was massive after Biden took office. Now, obviously, Biden didn't consistently make the United States look good. He had his embarrassing moments, his foot in mouth moments, his brain fart moments that looked really bad at, G7, falling asleep at that climate talk. So yeah, he gave us plenty of bad looks. But Trump is just 24/7 BS. The rest of the world laughing at the United States, being just incredulous at what's going on, at the schizophrenia as well of going from Trump to Biden to Trump, all in what's going to be 12 years. Like, really? Are we that volatile? Are we that unable to make up our minds? Do we have that many segments of the population that are just at odds with each other so aggressively? And yeah, the tariff thing. We also have to talk about the tariff thing. The trade wars are disastrous. The trade war that Trump has started with Canada, obviously Canada is not Europe, but that type of thing, it weighs in on Europeans. They probably see that and they're like, oh shoot, Trump's going to start a trade war with my country. I want to stay out of there. I don't feel good about that. Now, trade wars are not the worst thing in the world, obviously, but Canada was booing the United States at the game. They were booing the national anthem over the trade wars. And in fact, Pierre Poilievre, the candidate who has more in common with Justin Trudeau, or with Donald Trump, than Justin Trudeau, he sank in the polls as a result of Trump's trade wars. Ben Shapiro even was pointing this out. So it's not a good look for conservatives in Europe either, the fact that Trump is making a mockery of the United States. And yeah, I mean, it's just, he seems like an unhinged lunatic, more unhinged than before. His first term was actually mild in comparison to this. But yeah, now we've got all these warmongering talks, Panama, Greenland, this nonsense. It's like, dude, please be bluffing. Please don't follow through on this. And it's sad that the lesser of two evils is that he's bluffing and just trying to sound like a tough guy or pretending to be a comedian, because we don't need a comedian in the White House. If you want to be a comedian, go do stand-up comedy in some city or something like that, get an audience and make jokes. Yeah, we should take Greenland and Panama, bro. We should get the Panama Canal back. We should invade Mexico. We should invade Denmark or whatever. Do that instead of being the president. And unfortunately, he gets to be president and have a bunch of people worship him for it and say, oh, he's a comedic genius. Look at him going off about Panama and Greenland. This is totally not neocon garbage that we would ridicule Kamala Harris and George W. Bush for. No way. So the warmongering thing, the tariffs thing, there's also probably an issue with like free speech. The U.S. is a great country for its free speech. Not every other country has it. Other countries will legit jail you for hate speech, and the U.S. does not do that. That is a good thing. You should be allowed to say hateful and toxic things in this country. You should have that freedom to say that. Other people have the freedom to call you out, but you should never face legal fees, any sort of sanctions whatsoever for saying rude, hateful, distasteful things. But now it's like, okay, Trump might actually start deporting people to El Salvador if they criticize Tesla or criticize him. He's actually posting about this on Truth Social. Yeah, like, we're going to send these people to El Salvador. I heard they have great conditions in their prison. These people who are attacking Teslas, these people who are criticizing Tesla, we're going to send them to El Salvador. Like, yikes. So Are Europeans possibly worried that if they come to the US, they might get charged for some trumped up nonsense, pun intended, and then get deported to El Salvador? It's possible. I don't know how intensely they pay attention to Trump's Truth Social posts. Truth Social just kind of seems to be like a weird thing that's not known for anything other than Trump's posts. But yeah, tourism is an important thing. We got to be careful not to shoot ourselves in the foot here. It's fine if you want to deport criminal, illegal aliens, but stop stopping people at the border for nonsense reasons and stop shooting yourselves in the foot, US government, please. I still love America. I still am glad I live here, but I can't say that everyone should be glad to live here or that everyone should want to live here if they're concerned about certain things that I have no right to tell them they shouldn't be concerned about. Please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this tourism issue. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Morris, the Merrier, and I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.